Listen, America. Listen, people, I shouldn't say America, but listen, people of the world. If America collapses, which is on the verge of doing so in the next year, we've got a civil war going on where there's been a reversal of the Mason-Dixon of the Civil War during the days of Robert E. Lee and USS Grant, or when Abraham Lincoln was president. We've got where the Democrats and the liberals have now enslaved the mind of the black man. Now, he's not black, he's a Hamite, but that's what he calls himself, and y'all won't know who I'm talking about if I say Hamite. But the liberals, the progressives, the Democrats, the white Japheth, have enslaved the mind of the black man. And it started with the communism aspect that fringed around what Dr. King was doing. Now, hold on, just listen to me, don't get upset. And the black man now is slave to the white man in the North. He's enslaved to the liberalism, he's enslaved to the absence of morality, he's enslaved to brokenness of the teachings and to being a queer and a homosexual. The black man now in the North is a slave to the white man in the North. Now listen to Pastor Manny very carefully. Let me also restate, we are very close to the collapse of the world as we know it with the oncoming war, because Trump and MAGA coming up out of the South cannot be Trump and MAGA. Trump represents Jefferson Davis, the president of the South during the war. And of course, the Abraham Lincoln representing the North. We are at a point closer than I was praying this morning than I thought. But the liberals have castrated the black man. He used to be, when he was under the leadership, and Raphael Suleiman, please listen to this very carefully, you and Elder Honecker. When the black man was enslaved under the prophecy of slavery that was given by Noah to Ham and to Canaan in the South, he was not a drunkard. He worked every day, though he worked as a slave, and oftentimes he was chastened for if he failed to work, but he was not a drunkard. The black man, when he was a slave under the Jefferson Davis Confederacy, when he was a slave under the Southern Baptist teaching that God had appointed him slave, he did not run off and leave his children. He couldn't run off and leave his children. Of course, he could run off and try to get to Maryland or upstate Pennsylvania, New York. But when he was a slave, he raised his children. The children knew their fathers. And when he was a slave to the white man in the South, in the antebellum period, he sat down and read the Bible. Though he came from Africa, from Sierra Leone, from Ghana, from Nigeria, he did not speak the English language. But when he was a slave to the white man, to the Japheth man, in the South, he spoke 2 and 3 different languages. He learned to speak the language. If he was from Sierra Leone or Ghana, he learned to speak the language of the Nigers, of I forget the Hulus or whoever they are. He learned to speak their language, and not just that, when he was a slave, when the black man was a slave to the white man in the South in the antebellum period. He learned to speak English. He learned to read the Bible. He learned to understand the laws. He learned, and he was so overwhelmed with the readings of the Bible, with the Old Testament, with Moses, with Jesus, that he let go of his voodoo religion. He let go of Islamic religion, because many came here as Muslims, but they let go of that. But he never ran away from his children. And he built schools for his children. I attended a school that was built by slaves when I was just in the first and second grade in North Carolina. That's what he did. That's what and he had a strong family. And when he came up out of slavery, there's one of the greatest books ever written by Booker T. Washington, called Up from Slavery. If you want to read a great book, it ain't that long. It's not like William Sierra's Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. Up from Slavery, let down your bucket where you are. He came up out of slavery and built one of the greatest institutions of its day, called Tuskegee Institute. And he taught Jesus, he taught the King's English, he taught agriculture, he raised up George Washington Carver. This is the black man that was a slave. This is the black man that was a slave, that was raised up as a slave. He then went on because he'd been around his wife. He learned about insurance. He learned about banking. He was given large swaths of land, 400 and 500 acres of land was given to him because he had been a good slave. And the master said, well, the wall is the wall, and here's some land now. And or you could work the land and I'll share the profits with you. Then came the whole thing of the sharecroppers, which my father was. That's who the black man was. And that's where he was up until the 19th century, actually the 20th century, pardon me. When then came along people like W.E. Du Bois and then Martin Luther King and after that it all went to hell. But when he was a slave, he took care of his children. He took care of his wife. When he was a slave, he took care of the house. When he was a slave, he didn't run off. When he was a slave, and after being a slave, he knew how to take care of his family. And now here come these W.E. Du Bois, here come these pensioners Negroes. Here they come at the early stages of the 20th century, at the conclusion of World War I and the beginning of the, if you will, the hurdy-gurdy days. Not a black man. He's now under the slavery of the white man in the North. He's now under the slavery of the John Kennedys of the world. He's now under the slavery of the Rockefellers of the world. He's now under the slavery of the Chuck Schumers of the world. He's now under the slavery of the white men, the wealthy, powerful Bloomberg. He's now under the slavery of them. And guess what? He don't take care of his family. He makes babies and runs off. His wife or his girlfriend keeps her legs open all day and all night. I don't even know how she walks, spitting out babies and then going to the welfare and getting them taken care of. He doesn't own anything. He doesn't own any banks anymore. Doesn't own any insurance companies anymore. Don't own any property anymore. Then he's got these God-forsaken devils like Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton has got to be the worst sewer rat that the world has ever seen. I don't think Hitler was with Goebbels and a bunch of other people. I keep forgetting the other. I don't think Hitler would have put it with Al Sharpton. Black people got to be the dumbest ass people on the planet to listen to two words from Al Sharpton. And these liberal, if you will, queers running these television networks got him sitting up there talking about politics, nation, and the national network, national network. It is about the sickest thing. The slaves from the white man would take Al Sharpton and hang and say, boss, y'all don't have to hang this nigga. We are hanging him ourselves, this low-life piece of trash. And Obama, there ain't no way that Booker T. Washington and George Washington Carver and all the rest would have put up with Obama. In fact, Jesse Jackson Jesse who started push, the people who united to save humanity and the rainbow, tried to tell y'all about Obama. Jesse tried to tell you Obama ain't black. Jesse tried to tell you that he ain't real. Jesse Jackson tried to tell you he's a phony. Jesse tried to tell y'all won't listen because he had a little white blood in him. You know how you liberal black people is about white people. You worship at the throne of white people. So now here, what we're looking at now is just the opposite. We were better off as slaves. At least we took care of our children. Well, was it right for a man to have another man as chattel? Well, you can take that up with Jesus. But after that, everything else was a positive. Took care of our children at home at night. All the children knew their fathers, knew education. Black people that spoke 2 and 3 languages. Now you can't get these niggas to conjugate a verb. They graduate school and can't even conjugate a verb. But they spoke, during the days of slavery, they spoke Swahili, they spoke Nigerian, they spoke English and read the Bible and gave God the praise in English. Now they can't even conjugate a verb. So now here and here, well, we don't like Pastor Manning. He ain't for no, I ain't for being a slave to the white liberals, to the queers. I ain't a slave for being to these freaks, these Japheth people, these Shemite people that are freaks too. You got these Shemites, bigger freaks than you ever want to see anybody being a freak. Talking about the Jews and the Japheth and the Shemite. No, I ain't for them. No, I'm not for them. Am I for slavery as it was? Well, it's over with. Abraham and Lincoln ended it. Jefferson Davis ran away in a woman's outfit. It's over with. But slavery goes on.